it's Celeste. In my last video, I talked about possibly doing a video on film photography, and some of you guys seem to be interested in it, so I was like, why not, I guess? So yeah, I'm gonna talk about film cameras and film photography and having imposter syndrome as a photographer and all that stuff. So let's get into it. So first of all, as far as cameras go, I started off using this camera. It's an AE1 Canon. It's just like a basic camera. It's a really good one I think it's a really good one if you're starting out. I definitely had to learn how to use this bad boy because it's a little more technical than just like a point and shoot. So I learned how to use I still don't even know what like this thing is called. I know one of them is like the ISO and one of these things is the something. I know how to use it now, so it's just, it all makes sense to me. It took a while for me to like get like acquainted with the camera, but after a while I became pretty good at using this and knowing how to use it. I actually took some grad photos for people on this camera, so I was able to use it professionally, which was really cool. This camera I feel like was really good for me to learn. I don't know, I feel like knowing how to like adjust for the light and things like that. It has a really cool light meter on the inside, like when you look through there's a light meter. Yeah, this just kind of I feel like was a good starting place because it was a challenge to like figure out how to use the light meter, how to figure out, you know, what settings to use and what lighting. I'll throw some pictures in here where you guys can see pictures or photos that I've taken on this camera. So yeah, this one is a really cool one. I think after a while though, I kind of got tired of this camera just because it's pretty heavy. It's hard to carry around. I also don't have a strap. I should probably get a strap for it. I also wasn't necessarily getting the look that I wanted with this camera. I really love the look of like a flash on a photo. I know that's very vague, but I love in the daytime or the nighttime, I love having a flash on a photo. It just adds like a certain quality to the photo that I really love. So I started using this camera. Someone gave me this camera like when I was like a couple years ago. I remember really liking it, but not really using it a lot ever, and it was broken for a while, but I took it to Betty, who is the person who develops my photos, and she was able to fix it for me. So shout out to Betty one time, because this camera is literally my child. Like I take this camera with me everywhere, and now it's pretty much the only camera that I use. Like if I'm, like I said, if someone asked me to take grad photos, I would use the other camera, but like this is just for my own personal photography. So if you see me like ever posting photos anywhere now, it's usually on this bad boy. I just love it because like I said, it has the flash. I wonder if it'll take a picture. Yeah, there's no film in here. I also love this camera because it has a self timer on it. So I've been able to do some self-portraits on this if I just put it on a tripod. There is less control on a point and shoot. Oh, I forgot to say what kind of camera this is. This is a Sure Shot 60 zoom. I really like this camera for the flash. It just feels more of like, I feel like when I started taking photos on this camera, I started to see the photos in my head that I, like the way I wanted the photo to come out started to actually manifest when I started using this camera. So next I'm going to talk about film. When I first started shooting, I was using Ektar 100 a lot, and a lot of people were like confused as to why I would use film with such like a low, I don't even know what it's called. I'm probably a really bad person to listen to about film because I don't even know what it's called, but like when you get film, you can see the 200. I want to say it goes from like 100 to like 800. That's probably a lie. Don't listen to me. 100 and 200 are lower, but for some reason I like the lower. I mean, I haven't really tried. I mean, I have tried higher ones, like I think like 400, and I'm just, I don't know, I like the lower ones. But yeah, so Kodak Gold 200 is like my baby. I use this all the time. I just like the colors. Different film will give you different like color qualities. So for me, in my experience, I feel like Ektar tends to be more pink. Maybe, possibly. I feel like it just has more of a pinkish quality to it. Fujifilm, which is like cheaper, it has more greener, more like green tones, I think. I want to say this is a little more yellow. Maybe not even yellow. I guess this just feels more like, I just like how this looks, and that's really what it comes down to. This roll, when I buy it from Betty, is like $5 a roll, I want to say. Compared to like Fujifilm, where you can get like, I feel like you can get like 4 rolls for like $10 at Walmart. It is like more expensive. I just like the quality of this one better. So yeah, it's good. Editing. So I used to not edit my photos at all, and now that I do edit them, I'm like, how did I do that? I understand for some why you wouldn't want to edit your photos and why you would just want, especially with film, just wanting your photos to like just be true to how they came out. But for me, I think because I do shoot on like a point and shoot, I like having some sort of control in like the post process and like making the photo like exactly what I want it to be. And for me, I just kind of like photos to be like a little overexposed. Like I kind of like them to be like that flash aspect of it. I like to just be like more, like Rihanna would say, more is more. I know I'm not explaining myself well, but usually when I edit my photos, I use Lightroom, and I usually turn the highlights up, turn the whites up, turn the darks and the shadows down. If there's like bright colors like blues or reds, I really like to like bump those bad boys up so that it's just like extra. Lastly, I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome as a photographer, because I think when I started taking photos, which really wasn't that long ago, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 months ago, I would have like imposter syndrome because I didn't feel like I was a photographer. And I think a lot of people feel that way because being a photographer is like so common nowadays, and there's a lot of people who are really good at it, but really the only thing that it takes to like become a photographer is literally to just take photos. But sometimes that doesn't feel valid, especially when you're just starting out and you're like trying to figure out like your style. So I think it takes people a long time to like be able to call themselves a photographer, and it's still something that I like struggle with. Like, or you know, the other day someone said like, you're a photographer, right? And I was like, am I? Like, I still don't even feel like that. I think for me, I really just enjoy taking photos, and I love it. When I get that WeTransfer email from the developer and it's like, your photos are here, like it's like Christmas to me every single time. And I think that's really all that matters. It's so fun, and you know, you will feel like an imposter like when you first start out, but literally if you're taking pictures, you're a photographer. And you don't have to be like, I'm a photographer. Like, you can just be like, I'm taking photos. It can just be this like fun thing. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I don't have any like technical knowledge about film photography. This is not that video. If you guys want to know more of the like technical lingo, I think I just wanted to like share my own personal experience with film photography and whatnot. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to see some of my photography, I'll leave some links for that down below. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.